Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you all are doing well. I am Sumera Wali from the platform of Rehan Artificial Intelligence Teacher Training Institute Level 1. Welcome to all of you in another exciting episode of TED Talks. In this series, I am exploring inspiring TED Talks and sharing the ideas, lessons, and personal reflections that I take from them. So, viewers, in this today review, I'm going to share the next TED Talks review, that is Teaching Start Learning by Mariappan Jawaharial. So, before we begin, let me briefly introduce the today's speaker. Mariappan is an educator and speaker who focuses on teaching, learning, and the importance of creating meaningful educational experiences. We really interested What really interested me about this talk is the idea that teaching and learning are not two completely separate activities. A good teacher is also a good learner. So let's explore the lesson I took from this inspiring talk. First is that teaching is also a learning. One of the biggest idea I took from this TED talk is that when we teach, we also learn. At first, teaching may look like simple giving knowledge to the students, but when we teach, students ask questions. Sometimes they ask questions we did not expect. So sometimes their question make us look at a familiar topic from a different point of view and from a different perspective. And that is also learning. I believe this is especially important for the teachers. A teacher should never think, I already know everything. Instead, a great teacher should think, I can continue learning from my students, from the new technology, and from new experiences. And the second review, which I took from this TED talk, is that students are not empty containers. Another important lesson is that students are not simply empty containers waiting to be filled with information. Every student comes to the classroom with experiences, questions, ideas, creativity, and curiosity as well. Then, what is the role of the teacher? A teacher's role is not only to provide answer, a teacher should also encourage students to ask better questions. For example, instead of simply telling students how something works, we can ask, what do you think will happen? Why do you think this happened? Can you find another solution for this problem? Viewers, when we ask these questions, it will encourage students to think independently. And when students start thinking independently, education becomes much more meaningful. The third lesson from this TED Talk is that curiosity is the beginning of learning. Think about your children. They are constantly asking why, how, and what is, and what if. That curiosity is a nature and natural form of learning. So, but sometimes traditional educational system can make students focus on much. They focus much on getting the correct answer that they stop asking questions. I believe teachers should protect students' curiosity. A curious student is an active learner. When students are curious, they don't simply memorize information, they want to understand it. And what is the kind of learning that stays with us for a long time? So, this is all about this session. The next one lesson which I took from this TED talk is that teachers should be lifelong learners. For me, one of the strongest message from this topic is that teachers must continuous learning. The world is changing rapidly. New technology is appearing. New careers are developing, and artificial intelligence is transforming the way we work and learn. So, if teachers stop learning, they may eventually teach students using outdated methods. Viewers, when teachers continue learning, they become bring new ideas and new opportunities into their classrooms for their students. So, as an AI learner myself, I believe teachers should explore new technologies, experiment new teaching methods, and remain open to change. A teacher does not need to know everything, but a teacher should always be willing to learn something new. Viewers, my personal reflection for this TED Talk is that as a student of artificial intelligence and as someone interested in education, I have realized that learning does not end when we complete a course or receive a certificate. Every new tool teaches us something. Every student can teach us something. Every mistake can teach us something. And every challenge can teach us something. This is why I believe in lifelong learning. If I am teaching someone how to use AI, I may also discover a new AI technique through their question. So, teaching becomes a two-way process. I teach and I learn. And I think that is one of the most beautiful thing about the education. Now, let's connect this idea with the artificial intelligence. Teachers can use AI to generate ideas, create activities, explain difficult concepts, prepare quizzes, and support personalized learning. But I don't believe AI should replace teachers. Instead, AI should help teachers become more creative and more effective. A teacher provides something technology cannot completely replace human connections. Teachers understand students' emotions. They encourage them, they inspire them, they notice when a student lacks confidence, and they help students believe in themselves. So, viewers, I believe the future of education is not teachers versus AI. It is the teachers working with AI. My five very important key takeaways from this TED talk is that the first one is that teaching is also a form of learning. The second, students should be encouraged to ask questions and think independently. The third is that curiosity is one of the most important, powerful tools for learning. The fourth lesson which I learned from this TED talk is that teachers should remain lifelong learners. And the last but not the least lesson from this TED talk is that technology and AI should support teachers and students rather than replace human connections. These lessons remind us that education is not simple about transforming information. It is about inspiring curiosity, developing confidence, and creating a desire to keep learning. So this is what I take from this TED Talks. I would recommend this talk to teachers, students, parents, and anyone who believe in lifelong learning. Thank you so much for watching my review. This is all about today's session. See you in the next session soon. Till then, take very good care of yourself. Be healthy, keep learning, and choose the AI wisely. Allah Hafiz.